Okay, you scurvy dogs, let's go ahead and start our playthrough. What are you all waiting for? Let's go. We now have a total of 2 player cards that tell us all the different actions we can take. So we can walk. When we walk, we move into a room. We spend an action just to move there. Then we check our fatigue, which I'll show you how that works while we do it. When we can also run. That will let us move 2 rooms, but we need to check the fatigue in each room and then add +2 at the end because we're running through those rooms. We can also just lower the fire. So lower the fire in the current room by 1. We can eliminate deckhands. You can actually eliminate deckhands in the current room or adjacent rooms. You can pick up a token, any type. You can rest, which will simply just lower your fatigue level by 2. You can increase your battle strength, which you saw on the bottom of the cards during setup. That's your player board. You will increase that, and then you can use that when you fight. It makes you stronger. And then finally, you can swap an item card. You can swap an item card in 2 different ways. I can swap from the supply. There's tons of item cards that I haven't used, like the pistol. I can shoot an attack 1 time per round in range, which is cool. But I can also take it from another player, and then that player will have to grab a new random item from the items not being used. Now, when we're looting, it's a little bit different, and I'll show you how that works when we loot. So now the new actions. You can now load a cannon. That's putting this cannon token, and you're going to put it in the current column that you're in. You can also close a trap door. Just have a trap door flip over to its close sign. You can slice at tentacles, and we'll see how that works when they start showing up. And you can even attack the Kraken himself. So it's not too much more, but there is a lot of different actions that you can take in the game. Part of the reason why I like it. We're going to start off with Jade. Jade has to reveal 2 tiles. You reveal them 1 at a time. So these are the 2 that we're going to do. We'll flip this one up. Oh, look at it. So it's just having a door here and a door here. And we'll place a die number 3 on this. And if ever that gets up to a 6, that room is going to explode. And that will increase our explosion track. And then any room that's connected to it will increase their fire by 1. So because of that, I think I'm just simply going to place it here. And we'll place the die here. Now, what I have to do is grab a random token from this bag, and we'll place it in that location. So what we have, we already found one of our guards that's guarding a treasure. So there's a treasure in that location. We only need to find 4 more. And we need to collect that one. Okay, this room has 3 doors. You can see it already has more fire on it because it's already starting at a 4. And the die color is important. And you'll see that when we flip the Skillet Revenge cards. So it'll be a red 4. I think I'll go ahead and place this room right here. So that connects here, but then it's going to cut off this space. But I couldn't connect a room to here anyways because there's no doors. And that's something else to note. I can't connect a room by having a wall with no doors to another wall with no doors. You always have to connect at least 1 door. Now let's grab one of these tokens, and we are going to get a trapped door. So we'll just place the trapped door like this. And now we will grab 1 deckhand. Well, it might be more if it's red. Nope, it's just a white deckhand. Perfect. Okay, now Jade can actually begin her turn. The first thing Jade's going to do is take 1 step for 1 action into this room. That's going to spend 1 of her 6 actions. Now, she's going from a space with no fire to a space with 1 fire. So she'll take 1 fatigue. I won't show you this every time because it'll get arduous, but just to show you, now we're at 1 fatigue. And remember, once we get up to 5, we can no longer go into rooms that have a die set at 5. Jade is really good at taking care of deckhands. So what she's going to do is do action 2 to move into here. Action 3 then will be to eliminate deckhands, but she can eliminate 2 deckhands with 1 action. So we're just going to eliminate both of these for 1 action. Now, when there's only 1 deckhand in a room, it doesn't do anything. It's totally fine. They're not a problem. When there's 2 deckhands in a room, the pirates cannot pick up a cutlass, grog, or treasure tokens. And if there are 3 or more deckhands in a room, then you can't even enter it. Because remember, I can, like you just saw, I can defeat deckhands from adjacent rooms. I've done 3 actions. My next action, action 4, will be to move into here. Now I'm going from 1 fire to 4 fire, so I increase my fatigue by 3. So I'm at 4 fatigue. My next action will be to decrease that fire from a 4 down to a 3. So it's kind of funny because what we're doing is we're looting the ship. But we also don't want the ship to be destroyed because we're trying to loot it. So we're trying to keep it alive even though we're the ones who created the fire. And then our final action, I'm actually going to do that one more time and decrease this down to a 2. you're going to find that it's really important that you have your dice at different numbers, because if all of my dice are at ones and I flip over change dice from 1 to 2, then all of them are going to change. So it's nice to have them at different numbers if you can. So now Jade has completed her turn. We will now draw a Skillet's Revenge card. We'll go ahead and reveal the first one, and we have, okay, all red and white 3s turn to 4. So if I had left that room at a 3, it would have now just moved back to a 4. But since I moved that room down to a 2, that fire is not going to increase, which is nice. Now, if there were any skeletons on the board, they would move. And they always just move towards the closest pirate. This means this room is going to turn to a 4. This room's going to turn to a 4. And this room's going to turn to a 4. Bummer. Okay. If our treasure token gets destroyed, that's okay. Remember, there are a total of 6 in there. We have to find and save 5 of them. Our next pirate to go will be Swivel Gunshot Sandy. So the first thing we have to do is reveal 2 tiles. Our first tile that we have, oh man, it's another straight room. At least it's only a 2 instead of something like a 4, which I just accidentally rolled. Here we go, a 2. We're going to place this tile on the other side of the ship. Now, what you want to think of this as us doing is it's just inherently we're seeing more of the ship as we're in it, and so that's allowing us to see more, but we're also going to have more problems. We'll grab from the black bag. Let's see what token we're going to find. We have, are you serious? Another treasure? Wow, that's 2 of them already. Awesome. We'll flip our second one, and we have a corner room. Ooh, okay, this has a barrel. So think of this as like a barrel of gunpowder. If this room turns into a 5, this barrel will explode. It goes up on our explosion track, and the room that's adjacent to it will increase in fire by 1, which can cause chain reactions. So that's one room you don't want to play with. I think we'll go ahead and place this room right here, like so that it's still pretty easy to get to. And we'll draw from our bag again, and we have, oh yes, our first skeleton crew. If we defeat him, he'll get us a cutlass, which will go on your battle track, and then when you use up your battle track, you won't go all the way down to 0, which is super nice. So now, moving to Swivel Gun Sandy's turn, first thing we're going to do is we're going to move up 1 space. That's going to increase our fatigue by 1. Then we're going to move here for 2. That's going to increase our fatigue up to 4 because the difference between here is 3. That was 2 actions. Action 3, we're going to decrease this fire down to a 3. If I can find it. Perfect. Action 4 and 5, we are going to increase our battle track by 2. Now when we attack, after we roll the battle die, we can determine if we want to use all of this or not. You can never use just part of your battle track. If you decide to use it to add to your dice roll, you have to add all of it, okay? But that can potentially help us because what I'm planning on doing is going into where that skeleton is and attack him. But we only have 1 action left because we spent 2 actions doing that. And our final one will be to move into that room. We'll move into there and we don't take any fatigue because we have 3 to 3, so the fire level is the same. Now, unlike most things, with combat, the moment you're in a room with an enemy, you have to attack. That includes guards, so if I ever go into a room with a guard, I have to attack them. So right now, this pirate's at level 4. I have to get a 4 or higher to defeat him. So I'll roll my die. Oh, that's a 5. I didn't even have to use my battle track. Awesome. So then what happens is he will drop this cutlass on the ground. Next turn, I can go ahead and pick it up, which is kind of what I want her to do. I should also mention she had the sword as well, so her strength was actually a 6 there. It's part of the reason why I thought, you know what, I'm going to have her be my attacker. We have now completed our 6 actions, and there's something to note here. If ever I do 5 actions or even 4, and I say, I'm done, I don't want to do anything else, I can give the remainder of my actions to the next player. But that next player has to use those actions, because I have to have my full action set back when it's my turn. Lots of fun things in this game. All right, we'll flip the Skillet's Revenge. Ooh, so what we have is any red 2s will go to 3s. We have 2 of those. And then what we do, this is called Deckhand Spread Out. I have 2 red 2s, so they will both increase to 3. And here's the thing. Because Swivel Gun Sandy is standing in that room that increased, she is now going to increase her fatigue by 1. Her fatigue is 4, now it's 5. What that means is now if she tries to go into a room that's at 5 fire, she can't until she rests. I would say of this entire game, this symbol is probably the most confusing, so let me read you how this works. It's called a spread out. So deckhands will spread out from all rooms with a trapdoor icon that currently have deckhands. We don't have any because thanks to Jade, we removed all the deckhands. But what will happen is deckhands will only spread out through doors into adjacent rooms and only into a room that has fewer deckhands in it than the room with the trapdoor. Also, deckhands will never spread out into a room with a trapdoor icon. And so what you'll do is you'll add one deckhand to each adjacent room that meets these criteria. So that's a lot of words. When we have this actually happen, I'll show it to you. But yeah, this one took me the longest to understand. And now we move to our final player's turn, Whitebeard. After this turn, the Kraken's going to show up. So first thing is we'll reveal this tile. Ooh, that's a great tile. Look at all those doors. And that will have a 4 in it. That's the only bummer. But I like the doors. That gives us lots of options. We'll place that room right here. Just because it allows us to potentially put a room here, here, and here. Then let's go ahead and draw. And what do we have? We have, a trap door. So then one deckhand comes out, potentially one, maybe more. If it's red, it'll be more than one. And our first one is just white. Great. So just one deckhand. Here's our second tile. We'll go ahead and flip it, and it's another 4-door room. We'll also place this room right here. We will grab a red die and put a 4. Our only problem here is that they're kind of far away, and they're at 4s already. Remember, 6s explode. So okay, we'll grab one. We have another trap door, and that means another deckhand will come out. The only thing about these bags is they're made for people with teeny tiny hands. Okay, another white one. We're good. For Whitebeard's activation, we're going to go ahead and do a run for his first action. That means he will run 2 spaces. So normally, the fatigue he would take for that is 1, and then there's no difference here. So then add the 2 for the running. That's a total of 3. But his ability is he can decrease that amount by 1 as long as it's not a battle. So he'll only take 2 fatigue for that. We'll then do our 1 free rest action with our rum. We'll take a drink and we go down to 0 total fatigue. Then what we're going to do for action 2 is we're going to go ahead and replace the rum with the bucket. Okay, and that was one of the ones of the items that we are not playing with yet. This bucket, we can lower a fire in an adjacent room once per turn. Now, I didn't know this the first 6 or 7 times I played the game, but you see that symbol up there? That means it takes an action to use that. Some of the items doesn't, like the one that we just played didn't take an action, but that one does. So we'll use our second action to use the bucket and decrease the fire in the room adjacent to us. Now, as much as I'd like to decrease this one, I feel like, because this one with the 5 here is more important, we'll decrease this to a 2. Now, this doesn't give Survival Gun Sandy some fatigue back. She was already in there while it was at a level 3. Now it's just down to a level 2, which is nice. We've done a total of 3 actions and 1 free. Action 4, we are going to move into this room. We'll take 3 fatigue. That'll move us just to a total of 2 because of our ability. So we'll only take 2 fatigue for that. And then the final action, we'll push this down to a 3. At the end of our turn, we will draw a Skillet Revenge card. And we have all of the 3s. The white 3s will turn to 4s. And we'll have the spreading out of deckhands again. Well, the only white or yellow 3, I'm going to call them yellow. I think they're more yellow than white. That will increase is the one that we just decreased. It's like, oh man, why did we waste that action? No, we didn't know. Now, normally Whitebeard would take fatigue for that, but he reduces his fatigue by 1 for anything except for battles. That didn't hurt him. If you look here, the 2 locations that we have deckhands, we have 1 in these, and the 2 adjacent locations have none. Normally, that would mean we'd place 1 deckhand in each of those locations. But each of those locations have trapdoors. You never have deckhands spread out to other locations with trapdoors, because then it can get confusing of, did I already activate that one? Did I not? Is there this chain loop? So no, they don't even spread out. That's really lucky. If, let's say, this room had been connected here and we did the spread out, we'd place 1 deckhand there. That's how the spread out works, okay? Yeah, I'm sure it will happen at some point, but it is fortuitous for us that we have 4 of the trapdoors right next to each other just because they won't spread out into each other then. So now that Whitebeard has completed his turn, it's time for the Kraken to show up. We place the Kraken at the rear of the ship next to the column that includes the entrance, which is here. This is our entrance. So we will place the Kraken miniature right here. Doesn't that look cool? Then what we're going to do is turn over the top Kraken card and follow its instructions. And now we will always draw a Kraken card after we do the Skillet Revenge card. There are a total of 4 cards in this, so it's a very small deck. 3 of them are move cards, 1 of them is an attack card. After the Kraken attacks, you'll take all the cards in the discard pile and shuffle it back up. This means we're guaranteed to have the Kraken attack once every 4 turns at the least amount. Likely it will be more. So we'll flip this over. Okay, this just tells us the Kraken's going to move 1 space to the left. He will move from here over to here. Now, in order for us to attack the Kraken, we have to spend an action when we're at the rear of the ship, okay? Any of the spots at the rear of the ship. It'll be similar to attacking any other enemy with one difference. The strength of the Kraken is equal to whatever's on his board, so right now that's 10. Plus whatever distance it is away from where the Kraken is to where we're attacking. So right now, if Whitebeard tried to attack the Kraken, he would be an 11. 10 for his actual board, and then he is 1 column away from Whitebeard. So that's a total of 11. Of course, if I finally start spending actions to put out cannons, those can also help, but they can only help in the columns that we place them in. So this will end our first round. Let's go ahead and jump into Jade's turn. We're now moving to Jade's turn, so Jade will just reveal 1 tile now instead of 2. And we've got a 3-room door with a 3. Okay, where am I going to put this? We're going to push that Kraken back 1 space. The Kraken back. Oh, that's awesome. We will move him back and place a 3 here. Now you can see this is wall to wall, so we're okay. But that now means that Swivel Gun Sandy cannot move from here. She's going to have to move all the way around. I still feel like that's the best place for it, though. And I'm going to reveal one of these tiles, or tokens, and we've got a skeleton at a 3. Actually, that's not too terrible. Well, you may have noticed some items have moved. I totally thought this was Jade. I had this whole plan. No, this is Jade. That's why you need to paint your miniatures, you guys. Paint your miniatures! I'm going to do it too. Okay, so for Jade's first action then, I'm going to have her move 1 space into here. That means she's going to increase her fatigue to 5 because she's going from a 3 to a 4. Action 2, she's going to eliminate both of these deckhands because that's her special ability. Normally you can only do 1. Action 3 and 4, we're going to increase our battle track by 2. And then action 5, we're actually going to run. Okay, we're going to run into the room that has that skeleton in it. Now, we are going from a room with a level 4 fire, a level 4 fire, and then ending with a level 3 fire. So we're actually not going to increase our fatigue at all, but we have to do by 2 because we're doing a run action. We're going to run past Whitebeard and say, hey, how's it going? And then come into here and we immediately have to fight that skeleton. Remember, that's not an action. We have to roll a 3 or higher to defeat him. And we rolled a 4. Awesome. So he is going to drop for us Grog. Great, which we could spend an action to pick that up if we wanted. Our final action will be to place a cannon in this column. I am hoping that we can be in this column at some point with the Kraken there again and we can actually attack him because that could really help us. I wanted to attack the Kraken this round because I have that axe, remember? And this axe adds +2 strength when attacking the Kraken or slicing tentacles, but we ran out of actions. We'll flip our Skillet Revenge card, and we have, any 0 locations. So locations with no dice at all would then increase to a 1. I don't have any of those. And I took out the skeleton, so that doesn't activate either. Oh, man, the Kraken is going to attack him. And because the Kraken is attacking, we're going to also grab these and shuffle this back up. What first happens is we have to place a tentacle in every room that's in that column, okay? Except for this last one. This last one will place a tentacle end here. And why that matters is just because if we ever run out of either one of those, we lose the game, and there's a different different amount of each. Now we will lower the fire level in each room that received a new tentacle by 1. But now if any pirate is in a room that receives a new tentacle or a tentacle end, we'll have to increase their fatigue by 2. So Jade will go from 7 to 9, and Swivel Gun Sandy will go from 5 to 7. Now the strength of the Kraken is also going to increase from 10 to 12. Moving to Swivel Gun Sandy, we'll reveal the next tile. Ooh, it's another 4-door tile, but it does have gunpowder in it. Well, the goal is not to make the ship too long, but also not to make it too wide, so it's really hard to hit the Kraken because the Kraken moves most of the time. So I think I'm just going to put this here, that we can put a tile here if we need, or here or here. The first thing we're going to have Swivel Gun Sandy do is attack this tentacle. So this is something new that you can do. What you do is you count up the amount of tentacles in that column. We have a total of 3 here, so we need to defeat a 3 value. We'll give the die a roll. And we rolled a 4. Great. Now, we get to remove all of the tentacles because you need to think of it as one single tentacle, right? It's just in 3 different rooms. And so we sliced it off. And so all of this is toast. Awesome. Then we, for a reward, get to grab 2 random adrenaline tokens. We'll look at them. We can either add, oh, I don't even know what all of these do. I'll have to read what these do. This one lets us place 2 cannons in any room, which is awesome. And this one lets any pirate up to 4 spaces, move up to 4 spaces, ignoring fatigue. You may not move through enemies, though. If you end this movement in the same room as an enemy, then you fight it immediately. Ooh, you know what? I had a plan before. It was taken away. Now I'm going to get it back. I'm definitely going to use this one. I'll put this back in with the pile of other adrenaline tokens. And I think I'm going to use this right away. Okay, almost right away. I am going to grab this for action 2 before that, and then I'm going to move for free 4 spaces, ignoring fatigue. Now, just so you can see, I put this item here, and that means when I use up my battle track, I'll never go lower than a +1. Isn't that cool? So if I find more of them, I can keep pushing this up so I don't have to spend actions moving this up. I'm going to move myself up to 4 rooms. 1, 2, 3. I don't have to worry about fatigue because that was using my adrenaline token. And I think it's time to attack the Kraken. So right now I'm in the same column as the Kraken, so the Kraken does not get any additional benefits to its strength. Before attacking, though, I am going to spend 2 actions to power myself up to a +4, and then another one to attack, so I'll have 1 action left. I have a +4. Don't forget I have my sword, which adds +1 in battle, which is nice. And I have my ability here that when this player can use a cannon from any column and may re-roll the cannon die once. So I am going to use my cannon, so I'll be rolling 2 d6s. I'm trying to beat a total number of 12, okay, because that's where he's at. Okay, baby needs some lucky shoes here. Oh my gosh. That's a 6 and a 5. That's 11. And using my sword, that's 12. I didn't even have to use my increased battle track. Wow. The Kraken's health then goes down to 4. The strength goes down to 10. And we will randomly draw 2 more adrenaline tokens. I still have 1 action left. Do I think I can hit him again? Well, hold on. Let's see what these are. Ooh, that probably means eliminate 6 deckhands. And that's probably decreased the fire by 4. Let me double check. Yep, so this says the total fire level on the board itself, so I can spread it out. I'm going to definitely take that one over the total of 6 deckhands because I've got Jade, who's the deckhand destroyer. So I'll shuffle this one back in. This one I'll keep until later. Now, I want to mention the one that I did use is gone forever. They do not go back into this pool, so once the adrenaline tokens are gone, they're gone. I have 1 more action left. As much as I'd like to hit that Kraken again, I'm only going to be rolling 1 die. Yeah, I don't think that's worth it. So instead, I'm just going to rest for 2. We'll go ahead and flip our Skillet Revenge card. And, okay, so this is a new symbol. We have new deckhands that will pop out of each location that has a trapdoor that isn't closed. If there's a closed trapdoor, it'll just open. Also, any location with no dice will get a dice of 1 if it's a yellow die. I actually don't have any of those. So we'll do the deckhands, and then what is the Kraken going to do? No, really? It's going to attack again? Ugh. Well, we have these 4 locations having trap doors, so each one will get a deckhand. Let's see, there's a white one. There's another white one. Come on, just keep being white ones. I don't want to deal with red ones. Let's see, number 3, another white one. And our 4th one is a white one. Nice. Okay, there aren't a ton of red ones in there, I guess. We must have pissed off the Kraken a little bit, though. Because we are going to place the tentacle back again for the attack. And that will push up his strength back from 10 to 12. He'll stay at health of 4, though, so I only have to hit him 4 more times. Both Jade, though, and Swivel Gun Sandy will increase their fatigue by 2 because they are in a location where one of those tentacles came out. Now we're on to Whitebeard's turn. Let's go ahead and flip this. We have a location with 2 spots. We'll place a white 1 here, but it will potentially explode if it gets to a 3. If you ask me, this boat's getting a little unruly. We'll place that here, and we will draw a token. We haven't even gotten a treasure yet, you guys. We have another skeleton. Whitebeard's going to be on fire control, so he's going to spend 1 action and use his bucket. He can lower the die in an adjacent room, so we're going to lower this down to a 3. Then we're going to do our second action and lower the room that we're in ourselves down to 3. We did that before and it went right back up. We'll spend a third action to place one of these cannons in our specific column. Action 4, I think we're going to run. We're going to run ourselves right here. That would normally affect our fatigue by 2 because we're going from 3s to 1s, so we're okay there, but we're running. So we do 2 fatigue, but we reduce it by 1 because of our ability. So we're only at 3 fatigue. In our last 2 actions, we're just going to power up our battle track a little bit because I'm going to try and get one of the treasures, I think. Because that's one of the ways we can reduce the strength of the Kraken. We've ended our turn. We'll grab the Skillet Revenge card. Ooh, all 1s go to 2s. There's a lot of 1s. 1, 2, 3. I guess there's only 3 1s. That's not the end of the world. And that skeleton's going to go in and attack either Jade or Swivel Gun Sandy, which he doesn't know what he's getting into. And the Kraken is going to move 1 space to the left. We have 4 rooms, 1, 2, 3, 4, that'll all move to 2. The skeleton will then move into this space with our 2 pirates, and the Kraken will move 1 space over. When there's more than 1 pirate in a space, we can choose who he's going to attack. He'll attack Jade, and Jade will roll a 6. So Jade's going to take out that skeleton crew. Gosh, they're not that hard to take out. And we got some more grog that we can use. That's actually really helpful because we're a little high on our total fatigue with both Jade and Swivel Gun Sandy. 2 rounds in the books. Look at this ship. We're actually doing okay. We do have 1 tentacle we need to deal with, but otherwise we've hit the Kraken 1 time. I'm thinking I'm getting ready to get at least 1 of those treasures. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. We'll start off now with Jade for round 3.